Trey Hendrickson, the future of Trey Hendrickson. Let me be very, very clear to you guys. Everybody's like, well, Trey, you know, Trey Hendrickson, is going to be happy because Shemar Stewart is going to free him up double team. I think the only thing that's going to make Trey happy at this point is if the Bengals secure him guarantees, they give him more years to his contract, and they go on that way. The drafting of Shemar Stewart, while it might make the Bengals happy, it might make the Bengals fan base happy some. It doesn't make Trey Hendrickson happy. It does nothing for Trey Hendrickson's life. Trey Hendrickson is in the same boat that he was in for the last couple of months. Yeah. He still needs a contract. He still does not want to play on a lame duck year. Is he probably going to have to play on a lame duck year? That remains to be seen. But the Trey Hendrickson situation still needs to get figured out. Daniel, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm totally with you. When I look at Trey Hendrickson, this was even the conversation for the draft, right? I am a firm believer, especially now, if we're talking about a team that's going to compete for a championship, and we'll get into the full roster and, where we think that they are championship-wise. Mm-hmm. I think right now it is a must that he's on the roster this season, right? And I'd be concerned if you are heading into camp with him on a one-year contract still, because that leaves a lot of room to, hey, maybe he does hold out. I don't know what Trey's been going on, about getting a new contract for multiple years. And for me personally, right, if I'm looking at saying, hey, a championship now, not only is your football team, do you need Trey Hendrickson on one side as the pass rusher, but it is something that will just help your team out. So will he be on the roster? I do think that the only way really is if you sign him to an extension, because if you don't sign him to an extension, I'd be curious to see these other teams. Like, I don't know how likely these other teams would be to call about Trey Hendrickson closer to the season. But if I'm other teams, I'm monitoring this situation, because if he is not, given an extension, I do think that there is a lot more concern than it was a Ja'Marr Chase last year, right? Because Ja'Marr Chase had 2 years and it was like, oh, are we going to get this deal done? That's a different situation than Trey Hendrickson. This is him going into a lame duck year. This is his final year on the contract. And for me, right, if I'm looking at how to build the best possible winner, not just for this season, but for next season, I think you've got to, at this point, pair Trey Hendrickson and Shemar Stewart together, because what's your alternative option? If you wanted to not have Trey Hendrickson on the roster, go out and, like we were discussing, go out and trade him during the draft and get a Mike Green, get a Donovan Ezuraku in round 2. This was the draft to do it. So that's kind of how I view, especially the edge rusher, position right now, because you've got Myles Murphy, who maybe Al Golden sees has another year. But from a pure pass rushing standpoint, I struggle to believe that the Bengals' plan should be Myles Murphy and Shemar Stewart, and that's it, because Joseph Ossai isn't under contract for more than 1 year right now. So if I'm the Bengals, I'm looking at getting this deal done, because I really only think that's, if we're talking championship, I hate to make it so drastic, but I think if Trey Hendrickson isn't playing, whether that results in a trade right now, that's for 2026 picks, and that's not for helping now. So like I said, I think it creates a lot of uncertainty if he doesn't get that extension. I would try to lock him in now. And I think that if you have Trey Hendrickson, Shemar Stewart, Myles Murphy, and Joseph Ossai, that at least gives you some resemblance of, hey, maybe this pass rush can be dominant.